Hideo Kojima dunks on modern gaming, which fair, great, right? Because modern gaming has sucked for the most part, except for some little gems here and there. But I can't help but question, like, wait a minute, but don't your recent Death Stranding games, aren't those just walking simulators with a bunch of cutscenes, which are the biggest issue I have with most of modern gaming right now? So do you really have room to talk on this? I don't know. Let's go ahead and dive into this video. Maybe I'm being too harsh on Death Stranding, which I'll get into later. But first, let's go ahead and just talk about what he said here. So here, Rhino, the bouncer, is reporting on it. Statement: Hideo Kojima on modern games from big studios are neither innovative nor fun. True. I agree. And most innovation is happening in the indie/smaller scale game scene. Correct. People who are making military games, they probably don't know how to dismantle a gun or shoot a gun. ... That's kind of sad. I do, because I've been doing this training and I learned so many ways to kill people. Okay, even the visuals and the systems are pretty much the same. A lot of people enjoy this. I understand, but it is important to put something really new in there for the industry. Here we have Rhino, the bouncer, completely agrees with him. Okay, this is kind of cringe. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't think that game developers need to know how to do these things. I don't think they have to know how to do these things. But if you're creating a military game, it does help to have experts in, the military, right? And also how to operate weapons, all that stuff, which is AKA the military. So that definitely helps. But I don't think, I don't know how, I don't know. I don't know what to take from Hideo Kojima's statement with that. I don't know how much of an actual John Wick he is, but I do have to say, while I think what he's saying is true, he's not really practicing a lot of what he preaches. Maybe with his marksmanship he might be John Wick. I don't know this, but but in terms of the problems with modern gaming, my biggest issue with modern gaming is that they have turned into just cutscene simulators for normies who don't want an actual video game. They don't want a challenge. And so, yeah, they are being catered to. They've glorified walking simulators and just a bunch of cutscenes because that's what people want. All the newbies, the non-gamer types are wanting. And so that has been my complaint. And that is what Death Stranding looks like. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, somebody correct me who actually has played Death Stranding. But I haven't played it. There's 2 of them now. But everything that he's criticizing here, the games all look the same. The visuals, they all look the same. Well, isn't that what Death Stranding does? Death Stranding just does scanning actual actors. And there you go. No creative art style whatsoever. If we're talking like old school Metal Gear Solid and stuff, yes, amazing art style, cool, intuitive gameplay, stealth action. I love that kind of gameplay. Now, he did have a ton of cutscenes in his games, but, I don't know. There's still a balance there. There's still some good gameplay there. If there's a difference between throwing a bunch of cutscenes in games that have good gameplay, right? Look at Expedition 33. Amazing, incredible gameplay. And it did have some cutscenes. It wasn't spammed with a bunch of cutscenes, but it had some good cutscenes. And then the art style was, it still was stylish. It was mostly grounded in realism, but mixed with stylized art. That's great. But what I see from Death Stranding just seems to be the same formula that modern games are doing. He's profiting off of all of the normies who like modern AAA games right now that are just walking simulators with a bunch of cutscenes. This has been my issue. You see me rant about Square Enix, for example, because it's just like, oh joy, look what they've done with Final Fantasy, to where they have actual mandatory slow walking scenes just so that you can hear characters banter. Like, bro, I don't want that. Like, all of the focus is on just too many cutscenes, too much banter, and we lost a lot with gameplay. I think Expedition 33 is what Final Fantasy should have been. And guess what? Expedition 33 was a success. Final Fantasy is not as successful as it should be and given its history and the masterpieces that it has in the past, right? So they fell off by catering to the modern audience. Now you've got Square Enix saying, hey, we want Final Fantasy to be more like Expedition 33. I wonder why. It works. It works when you focus on actual good gameplay at the forefront, right? And going back to the good old turn-based RPGs, for example. So obviously in this case, this isn't an RPG game, his Death Stranding games, but I don't know, dude. It's just like, how can you complain about modern games, but then you're doing the things that modern games are doing? Make it make sense, because to me it doesn't right now. So let's see, because Culture Crave also talked about this. There was an article about it. He kind of went further. Most games, he thinks the most interesting work is happening among indies. Yes, which we saw. Well, that is true. Yes, visuals and systems are the same. Yes. Okay. This is so funny to me. All right. Some people are like, absolute cinema. They love, okay, the master of boring games who created AAA walking games. Thank you. Somebody said it. Thank goodness. Okay. He released a game with hours-long walking segments you can't skip, but with boss fights you can skip. What? Okay, so I was kind of gaslighting myself. Like, am I wrong? Am I missing something? Because I thought that Death Stranding was that. I thought Death Stranding was a walking simulator with too many cutscenes. So I do seem to be understanding this correctly. Skipping boss fights? Are you serious? Since it released, I only saw people praising the cutscenes. Is there any other Strand type of game before Death Stranding? Luckily, no. Most people aren't cut out to play anything that couldn't be an arcade machine, just as most people aren't cut out to watch anything but Marvel movies. And I saw many crying about it that didn't play it. Okay. I do think because of his legacy and because he has made great games in the past, he is a bit overrated now in what he's doing, right? I don't think that what he's doing right now with these Death Stranding games looks to be anything better than what we're seeing from these mainstream trash right now. He's such a smug, pretentious Redditor. I can't help it. I have a little bit of that vibe there. I don't want to disrespect Kojima. I really don't. But at the same time, I'm like, come on now. I don't know, man. I think he's talking a big game, and I really want to see his John Wick skills. Can we go to the range? Can we get a range video clip? Like, because I'm not convinced. I can't say I'm convinced right now. Who knows? Anyway, there you have it for this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is Kojima based, or is he talking out of both sides of his mouth based off what he actually delivers? Let me know. If you played Death Stranding, is it actually good? Is it not a walking simulator where you can skip boss fights? That's wild to me. Okay, anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Also, I would love to see you guys on my Bible channel at Bible Time with Melanie Mack, where I do daily vlogs talking about current events and the Bible. Would love to see y'all there daily on weekdays. But thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I will catch you next time. And in the meantime, go boom.